We actually have a really heavy week, which says a lot in this administration because every week comes with a lot of things. But this week seemed to be on the extra train in almost every way humanly fucking possible. We're going to do it a little differently this week. We got some decent feedback about our shorts and our reels and our tickies. And so we're going to show some PowerPoint. Before we get into that, I'm going to bring up some stuff that definitely is not on the PowerPoint. I was flexing my inner MAGA there. So there was a cocaine ring busted at the University of Penn State.
Yep. I did read about this one.
It was a frat that was selling cocaine, but it was a bunch of rich white boys, and this dumb motherfucker was taking Venmo payments for cocaine using his real name. So a confidential informant tipped them off like, hey, there's this, frat boy fucking selling cocaine. This is his real name because he's accepting Venmo payments. So the police had no problem finding a kid under that name with the address at the frat that the CI said he was there. So they, easy warrant, right? Easy warrant.
Right. Yep.
So they did serve the warrant, and they found some cocaine, some marijuana, some money, a gun in a safe, though. The gun was in a safe. If you're selling cocaine, you should probably be armed. But the moral of the story is before they even got this kid to the cop car, he rolled on his supplier. And then that supplier was a different rich white frat kid who then rolled on his supplier, who then rolled on his supplier, who then that supplier was when we get to the real criminal who said he found it on the side of the street. We're 3-4 steps up the ladder, right? So we're probably close to the cartel. Yeah. At that point, right? So this dude's like, no, they'll kill my whole fucking family and put my baby's head on a spike. Like,
definitely at least crossing state lines at that point.
Definitely at least crossing state lines at that point. But the moral of the story is you do not do criminal business with rich white kids. They're soft as fuck.
At least not with anybody.
Like, they hadn't even questioned him or interrogated him. He wasn't even in the cop car yet, and he sold you out. You do not do criminal things with soft, pansy-ass rich white kids. Like, you just don't. It's bad for business. They're going to sell you out when they get caught real quick. So let that be a lesson to anybody who wants to start a cocaine business. That Penn State, obviously, is a good school to go to learn how to deal cocaine. Have a fraternity.
They have a supplier shortage, too.
Yeah, they definitely have a supplier shortage in Pennsylvania right now. That's for sure. So, but that completely blew my mind, right? That that was the part that killed me. You rolled before they even put you in the cop car, bro. You weren't even formally arrested yet. Maybe they hadn't even given you your Miranda yet. But before they even put you in the car, you rolled. Like, goddamn, because your first thought was daddy's belt that he never used. It was a story that kind of popped across one of my feeds, and I was like, wait, what? And then I didn't pay attention to it. And then the next day I seen it again. I'm like, wait, this got bigger. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And given my history, I'm like, damn, you told quick. So don't do criminal things with rich white kids. It doesn't work out, especially not dealing heavy drugs. A lot of that. I've seen the dude in Wisconsin got flocked going into Michigan and coming back, and they flocked him to do that. That's wild. So I'm really torn. So the American in me, 100% against it. It's an absolute invasion of privacy. It's absolute constitutional violation.
Absolutely.
It's already been proven. There's lots of cops using it for fucking stalking their exes. And the amount of people thoroughly why would they do that? Yeah, you never actually dealt with cops.
Yeah,
I did see an interview with the founder, right? Where he openly admitted naivety, right? He's like, no, I come from a small town where the cops were all good people and another rich white kid from a little, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, I just never thought they would do this. Now that they have, he's at least come out no, we're going to make, we're adding security upgrades so this can't happen. Because he didn't think, so I respect the fact that he's willing to learn and adapt, but the amount of people who were shocked that cops would do dirty shit. So like toxic alpha males stalking women, that's not as uncommon as you people think.
I know. So it's no one's against the good cop. It's about the institution and how it has been used to either oppress or institutionalize.
all of those sorts. But no, yeah, and I think that's a really good point to bring up. I'm not anti-police in any way, shape, or form. And out of the police I've interacted with in my life, which is way more than the average person, most of them have been really good people. Most of them have been really genuine. I only ran into a couple of douchers. You know what I'm saying? And that did real douchey things and did real scandalous, shady shit. So flipping back to Flock, so that part, right, unconstitutional. But then the other part of me is we are already fully surveilled right here.
Yeah.
They have our locations, they know where we go. I was commenting on something. I said the algorithm is so good that it knows your next major purchase 6 months before you do. It knows because of what you're doing that you're inevitably going to buy this snowblower this winter. And you haven't even thought about buying that snowblower yet. But the psychology behind the algorithm is so solid that it knows. So there's a part of me that's like, okay, so given that, I have seen down here where Flock has just kind of grown in the last 3 months, it has solved more crimes in 3 months than IMPD has ever been able to do. Like they have like a 20% murder rate solve, and Flock has solved like the last 6 murders.
Jeez.
And so, like, I see a benefit to it if used correctly, but I get caught there because that's how much of my freedom am I willing to trade?
Yeah, yep. And
that's a very slippery slope for me.
yeah, well, I mean, that's what most Republicans are, they think that that's what they still represent, the party of small government, the party of freedom, you know. Yeah, I know. I know. Some of my Republican friends, too.
Promise you
But
do.
like, that's where, you and I both have similar views on, the Second Amendment and how those restrictions are a slippery slope. But you and I both agree on common sense reforms and restrictions for certain things. And I think that that should have been acknowledged by the state before they tried to slip this one in.
Correct.
So it still feels very
Shady.
surveilled.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels very surveilled. It feels very shady. It feels very dystopian.
Yeah.
For America.
Especially with AI creeping in
Right.
too. I
Yeah.
mean,
we're going to get there too. See, you're bringing up all my topics, bro. So I wasn't even going to go there next, but now we are.
All right.
So I think it's wild that the designers of AI are kind of low key screaming at us to pay attention, that the thing they're designing may kill us. Like they're openly saying it. Like it could go one of two ways here. Either you're not going to make any major decisions anymore ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Or it may decide that we need to go and kill us all. And they're saying it, nobody's listening to them. And they're saying within a year, it will have the capability to do this. And as communication increases, technology increases exponentially. So AI is actually a self-fulfilling machine in that cycle. AI is increasing the speed of communication, therefore increasing the speed of the technology that's building the AI.
Yep.
And
the only thing slowing it down is the building of AI data centers and energy. Its only limitation right now, and it's working on that one for us.
It sure is. It's going to put us in the fucking pods like the Matrix and use us as the energy.
I'm telling you.
So but I think it's wild that the designers of these things are actually they're low key screaming it like, hey guys, we're going to keep doing it, but like, we need you to know that we've come to the conclusion that this might happen.
I know I've seen some of those reports, and it really is scary that both China and the United States are sprinting towards the extinction of the human race.
Score Skynet.
It's like scary to watch.
Deciding to get in shape because I might have to be John Connor. Like it might need to happen. Like, because I already told you, like I've talked so much shit to my AI that I'm probably on the list, like up high.
AI, where have you been all my life?
I think that it's absolutely wild, right? That nobody's paying attention to it. I'll put it out there. The reason nobody's paying attention to it because the political climate is so anti-science.
Mm-hmm.
And so
That
smart
they're not
people are
listening to
dumb.
scientists.
They're not listening to smart people at all. Any smart people. It doesn't matter if they're scientists, bro. They could like just be able to read and write when it's not a pop-up book and they're not listening to them. So
One of the biggest problems is that we don't have leadership in the federal government that is saying, hey, we need to put guardrails on so that this shit does not go.
no, we did. And then leadership said, fuck that, we're not doing that. Here's an executive order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, old poops his pants. Old poops his pants. And then my last before your PowerPoint topic goes to my name. So there are rumors, and they're from the far left. So it's probably not true, but it entertains me. So we all know that KKK Caroline is leaving at the end of August, that she has stepped down for family reasons to take care of her new baby and stuff. And we have said that there was some, chatter that she got pissed off he left her on the plane that was supposedly going to get blown off, right? We've already talked about that. Well, the new chatter coming out is that Melania
blown off again.
Yeah, blown off for sure. It all goes together.
Okay.
Melania is pushing
the 33-year-old.
That Melania, yeah, right, Kristen Hillebrand. So I had her on my list too, but this was more interesting. That Melania is wanting KKK Caroline out and pushed her out because Trump is supposedly actually baby's daddy.
That's gross.
Her husband is also an old geriatric.
You're right.
So
That's true.
I see it being plausible. I really do. I just see it being plausible. Like, yes, I don't actually believe it because it's far left crazy rhetoric, right? But it's entertaining, and I'm very entertained by it. We know that he's a fucking absolute douche monkey.
Yeah.
So
and God knows, she was put there for a reason.
So I'm seeing like left her on the plane and then she threw a fit that you left the mother of your child on the plane to blow up and die. And then Melania found out and she's like, well, God damn it. It's another one. Fuck this bitch. Get her out of here. I could just see it, right? I can see like all of this is, do I believe it? No. Is it plausible? Unfortunately, it is actually plausible.
It would
just be more of the same.
More of the same. Yeah.
Like none of us would be shocked. So, and yes,
Right.
Since you brought up Hillebrand, John Ossoff came out and said that like they're probably fucking Trump and her because like he's driving the golf cart and she's like fucking zooming.
Dude, she wrote letters that would have the Secret Service concerned. Like,
really, like stalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? And I heard she rode in a trunk to like be a part of like one of the outings or something, bro.
Dude. Yeah. She's straight psycho.
Bro, this is like the chicks who wrote Manson.
And he's letting her get close. Like,
right. So where people tell me there's no way any of this happened, whether it's KK Caroline or Kristen Hillebrand, right? And I'm like, you underestimate what people will do for power. I watched people sleep with restaurant managers for power. That's to get
here's looking
chefs.
at you, Drew.
Yeah, that's to get. Wow.
I'm still jaded.
That's not actually one that was on the top of my list. You did this to get some shifts.
Yeah.
Like I think those two actually liked each other, so that's a little bit different. But I don't necessarily think that was a power play. But it's like I've seen people do that. So you're going to tell me they wouldn't sleep with the president of the United States of America? Come on. You can't tell me that
well,
wouldn't
especially
happen.
With the way that some of these talking heads have elevated him to God level.
Well, I mean, people sleep with Elon Musk. And that dude looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Well, that's because
lighter.
They sign off on like, here's some insemination agreements. You're going to have his kid.
He's worth $1 trillion. So, well, fuck yeah. But power, right? Power and money. Yeah, you're right. I'm not even going to lie. I would. I want to say I wouldn't, but I would.
Yeah,
and then I'd sue for alimony. It's true. It's true. So I can't lie about that. God damn it. I admit that. And then I do want to bring this up because I saw this the other day and it was just kind of wild. So like Nancy Mace left, right? Mm-hmm. She was kind of kooky. So she like came out on her new show. Dude, she's tatted the fuck up now. Like she went and got like 17 tattoos, bro. She looks like the lead singer of Buck Cherry. Like she went out and just got tatted the fuck up, dude. And it's all American traditional. It's
Everybody
extremely well
deals with
done.
trauma differently.
Yes,
I
for real.
mean,
It's extremely well done artwork. So whoever did those tattoos, A plus. Like
sure.
it's extremely well done art. Like you went to a very reputable artist to do that work for you because it's top fucking notch. And American traditional is extremely hard to do.
Yep. Yep.
So especially at that level of impeccable. But just you popped out, you got like 17 tattoos. I'm like, what the fuck happened to you? So that was
Mm.
pretty crazy. But yeah, that's all the topics I had.
All right. So we're back to the Strait of Hormuz. Really, this isn't so much about the strait, but it's more about what Trump's next move is. So he's saying that the blockade is working. I actually was watching some Al Jazeera and looking at some reports out of Iran, and they are reporting that they aren't able to effect as much control over the strait as they have previously. Which is one of the reasons why they're harassing different boats and stuff. The Oman side is processing pretty well a flow of traffic out of there. So, but you can see at the bottom that Brent crude is up another $5 again, and tanker shipping rates are up 100%. And
So that
but
means
the
getting
U.
through.
No, that means that their costs have gone up that much,
Heard. Got it.
98%. So
Yeah, okay. 98% increase in cost.
and then the big thing is that Trump is saying that he's going to leverage economic consequences against not only Iran but anybody that deals with Iran. So anybody that allows Iran to trade with them, or they facilitate oil transactions or anything like that, then he is going to actually pursue sanctions against that country. So that's basically him threatening the entire world with sanctions.
That's very factual.
So our Treasury Secretary is coming out saying that he wants to collapse a government with millions of people depending on it for food and services.
I, I've seen a lot of like Ukraine, Iran working together. That's starting to be a thing. And I find interest in that because that starts to bring on the possibility of the world war, even greater than already happening. But then it brings me back to, which is, dude, a lot of things have happened this year that I would have never believed that would happen. It's put me in positions to agree with people that I
Yeah.
never thought I would agree with.
Yep.
But
Yep.
over the last like 2-3 weeks, Tucker Carlson is like wooing me and winning me over in ways that I couldn't fucking pretend to imagine. And a lot of people are like, well, he contributed to this. Yes, he did.
Well, yes, he did.
Yes, he did. And he's admitted to
And he
that.
should be held culpable.
So here's the problem. I've always wondered how the smart people got caught up in it, and he's one of them. You don't have to agree with him, but he's intelligent. He's well spoken. He uses trust me, the man's intelligent. He's not a reject, bro. And I would rather him recognize and turn against than continue. Because if he continues on the way he was, then he will continue to be a threat. Right. So the fact that he's opening his eyes and not and openly railing against it. Like, dude, if you want to watch any episode, watch the episode where he has Hunter Biden on, dude. It's a mind trip that like Tucker Carlson, but then he has Sean Ryan on the other day, who was also like Trump adjacent, not so into it, but Sean Ryan is a ex Navy SEAL who has a podcast. His podcast is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I love his
I've watched
podcast.
him.
So he has him on the other day and he's talking about it. And he made a point that like we talked about on here. Tucker's very anti-Israel and what they're doing.
Because
But
he's a racist.
But he talked about how we had a world leader tweet that he was going to erase a civilization. And it just kind of got glazed over, right? So what we actually had was a world leader who admitted that he would use nuclear weapons because you can't erase a civilization with tomahawks, bro, and cruise missiles, but you can with the nukes. And he said that that was kind of like one of his turning points because you can't do that and be rational and sane because that's crazy. And the second you did that, you were no longer a viable leader because it's fucking crazy. And
point. Yeah, I think that we're just living in moment after moment of realization that he was an unviable leader.
Turns
So
out Hegseth lied. No shit.
no way. There were at least one sailor and multiple others that have said we're going to jump overboard. So they've had multiple sailors taken off the ship for mental health, and those aren't those aren't being broadcast as much as the one sailor that actually made it over. So, and I don't know if you can see how tall an aircraft
I
carrier
know how tall
is.
an aircraft carrier is. It's way taller than me.
Yeah, and the chance of surviving that fall are pretty slim. So that that just tells you exactly how bad it has to be.
No, for sure, right? Like people go crazy, right? The building's on fire, they're gonna jump out of it. I think that's food shortages, water contamination. 250 days at sea is a lot. So that's not normal for those of you who don't know. So usually those are what, 3-month rotations?
Usually they make port every 3 weeks or 3 months.
All this boils down to people thought a Fox News host was going to make a good fucking Secretary of Defense. So imagine that's not working out.
So we have a $1 trillion budget. What was it? 20% reduction of force. So they wanted to reduce our force by 20%, increase our budget by 100%. Now the Pentagon is asking for 100% increase from when Biden left office. And the fact that that much money is coming in with that much less people to pay, where is all of that money going?
The ballroom, it's back. The ballroom is back, bro. The ballroom is back. Very
So
exciting.
we're seeing some plans, actual plans being presented. This is the type of decor that they're looking at. They're they're inlaying things with gold throughout the White House already. The Kennedy Center tarp is staying up indefinitely. So we got at least a little bit of his branding to subside for a while.
This one's super exciting to me.
Yeah.
Kim
So
Jong Un. This is his other homeboy, bro. Putin and him had a falling out. Now he needs a new boyfriend.
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah. He got dog walked by Xi. Putin won't call him anymore, and now he needs a new dictator boyfriend.
Yeah. And God knows he really liked Kim Jong Un the last time he met with him.
He did.
Anyways, he's
Him
planning
and
on going to APEC in China. Supposedly, our greatest enemy is China, and he's going to go to APEC, their summit, and he's going to meet with Kim Jong Un, who Trump disclosed has 57 nuclear weapons. And then one of the biggest things is that we're abandoning one of our partners again. So South Korea has been our partner since the Korean War, and we have provided security for them, and they have allowed us to have a foothold in the region that has really been a large part of why we've maintained our naval might in the area. Not to mention our ability to rapidly deploy our army from there, where we have a pretty substantial base and demilitarized zone.
no, definitely. It's like each region he's slowly destabilizing. Like each region. So we've destabilized the Middle East. Now we're going to go destabilize the Far East, and we're setting the stage for something. And that bigger is dictatorship. That's my personal opinion. Anyone who
I
doesn't
I
agree
I
can
agree with
fuck
you.
off.
I think that I think that this highlights something that's really worrying too, is that we have firmly lost the confidence of all of our partners in the East. And so South Korea and Japan are both looking at scaling down our ability to operate in their area. And if they kick us out, I mean, we
We're
have what?
cooked.
Vietnam
We're
that
cooked.
we might have. Yeah. Like we have, I think we have ports there, but I don't think that we have any real
FOPs,
yeah.
FOBs, no
Yes,
FOBs.
Bob's. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
And he's shrinking our exercises with South Korea from 10 days down to 5. So he's cutting our training with the South Koreans in half. It's just leading to a situation where APEC has a really good chance of really doing something this time around, where China is happy to step in and provide the ability for these nations to build up their own militaries.
Yeah, I do. There's only one thing that makes sense, right? That this is for Project 2025. The real reality behind Project 2025, not the part we know about, the part that they didn't say out loud. So especially with the Supreme Court going against them more often than they expected. So it's created the need to pivot. So yeah, destabilize everything, hang out with dictators. Trumpism 101.
Well,
So
dictatorship 101. I was looking at the fascism playbook again, the seven steps, and I mean, it's scary, scary, scary to watch how on point they are, or how strictly they're adhering to the playbook, like
well, because it fucking works.
it's true. I did not realize how crazy these numbers were. So in 5 years, Trump has put up $11.5 trillion in debt. Like
11.5 trillion.
yes, 11.5
Trillion.
trillion. That is over 25% of our national debt that
Mhm.
he alone has put up.
Right. And and Republicans don't do that.
Yeah, sure. We've beat that dead horse. There is no point where the Republican economy has done better than the Democrat
Yeah, for
economy.
sure.
So Treasury doubled its debt buyback program, time to run from September 9th to November 4th, the day after midterms. That is coming across as a deliberate attempt to manipulate Treasury yields before the election.
Right.
It's not working too well because we're seeing a lot of people backing away from buying our Treasury bonds. So 30-year bond is looking pretty terrible at this point for America. I mean, it's great for investors, because they keep having to raise the rate because nobody's buying it. So with the brunt of COVID still put on Biden's shoulders, he reduced our debt by 8.5 trillion.
Reduce the debt.
Well,
That means went down, guys. Not up. So by 3 trillion less than he's increased it in a couple of days.
yeah.
In the big
So
picture of things.
the other thing that I included in this that I thought was really important is the fact that Walmart has put up their weakest quarterly earnings since 2020, since the pandemic.
Okay. That is super
And
important.
a lot of economists were looking at to signal consumer confidence because they can't rely on those indexes anymore because it's all being manipulated. So with that is extremely concerning because if you recall, like 30% of Americans like tighten their wallet
Yeah.
for the pandemic because they weren't making any money. So if we're hitting those same numbers, that means that people are really tightening up. I know I am. I'm about to start shopping at Aldi like a pro.
Like a pro at Aldi. I like Aldi. Aldi's all right. No, I don't. The consumer economy is not good when the number one retailer can't make money. So, because that's what I think people need to realize Walmart is the retailer of America conversation. 79 billion short. And Amazon is like, ain't nobody driving around America not seeing an Amazon truck, bro.
Right.
So there's Amazon trucks everywhere. There's Amazon is so popular they can't even fit all their shit in their trucks. And they got to use like just random people who park in my driveway and piss
Yeah,
me off.
they use subcontractors, they use
Yeah.
the postal
Third
service.
parties, they use logistics services, they use all kinds of things. So you understand how huge Amazon is, right? And they don't even come close.
And Walmart destroys them.
Destroys them. Like they're not even in the game, dude. Like it's a whole different world. So for them to be unable to make money the way they used to is dangerous.
Yes.
So the words are one thing, the stock market is another thing, but the reality is something far. I get asked a lot, like, what's going on? And I'm like, the consumer is not spending money.
Yeah.
That's
They
what's
can't
going
afford it.
on. They can't. Cost of living's up quite a lot and wages are not.
So this is kind of where we were going with the whole AI conversation, as well as the defense spending conversation. So Trump has signed a memo saying that the administration is now comfortable with private companies hacking back. So
Okay.
up to this point, hackers going after hackers or going after foreign governments who have been hacking has not been allowed. So
As it should be.
Because
it's a
cyber
national security
warfare
problem.
Well, and cyber warfare is not something you want to mess around with when you are building an infrastructure that depends wholly on everybody being able to communicate all the time.
Right.
So, but according to them, they're still going to contract those firms to do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But this also comes into that point where we were talking about AI and them disclosing that their agents had hacked other agents, which
Yeah, they're
highlights
fighting for
how
who's going to be in charge of Skynet.
they are.
It themselves like, no, I'm the daddy.
Yeah.
So there's multiple reasons that who's the baby daddy is the title today, and I didn't even know it. So my foresight is impeccable. So, but yeah, no, the AI is fighting with the AI in a turf war.
that there was a power vacuum to be fought over yet.
Yes, and there is. And they want that power because John Connor. So
Because John Connor. And
yeah,
I'm sure they've already watched the movie. They've
identified John Connor. Yeah, they've identified John Connor for sure. So and Neo. So they've identified all of these people. So the agents are literally Crips and Bloods, and they're fighting each other. It's fucking wild. So AI is becoming Crips and Blood on its own. May the best AI win, and then we're gonna kill all the fucking humans because they're trash.
We have to finish making their bodies for them first.
Yeah, the robot, right? That's coming.
Yeah, Ultron can't take over the world until he has his perfect form.
Fuck, dude. AI could be like, we could go the good route and get Transformers. So, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna get fucking Megatron.
Those were aliens.
I'm just saying, AI could give us
anything that comes from a human is not going to be
nice
to humans. I mean,
That's true.
Really?
That's fucking true. It's so fucking true. The problem with AI is humans. Yes.
Right. I mean, you're only as good as how your parents raised you, right?
That's true.
So the Israelis have finally opened a criminal probe into the killing of a 5-year-old child.
That they're opening an investigation because the world pressure is turning on them and getting to them. At the end of the day, I guess I'm saying it's just for show.
Yeah.
It's more puppet court, right? It's more as seen on TV.
Today, there was 5 killed in Gaza by settlers that were trying to kick people out of their homes. And the fact that we use such docile terms for people that are murdering other people in their homes and then taking those homes from them is crazy. And I saw a stat today that 160 wells have been stolen from Palestinians, and some of them have been turned into water parks.
Whoa, we're real close to the golf course.
Mm.
We're real close
Yeah.
to the golf course. They turned
So
them
like
into
there
water
were
parks.
pictures of Hasidic Jews going
Hasidic.
swimming.
Hasidic.
Hasidic, thank you.
Hasidic with the cross.
Yeah, they are acidic.
Yeah. So the AI is never
So
going to build you a PowerPoint that doesn't have an Israel slide. I'm telling you.
I don't think that the AI is Jewish. I don't think so.
I mean, nothing that they do is shocking anymore. I told you, you got me over there. I made it.
Have to stay
But we're
shocked.
not shocked, and nothing's going to change.
We have to stay shocked in order to change this.
So midterms are coming in November. Please vote for it. That's on the right side of the equation, please.
Yep.
So demographic,
Can we please hold somebody accountable? Somebody.
Yeah. Well, so we're down to what? 33% approval rating, which he has more felonies than approval rating now. We do have Polymarket showing us taking the house cleanly. I think that does happen. We also have Polymarket now showing us 52% chance of winning the Senate. I personally can't see this, but what we have to win, I think, is really tough, right? So we would have to win Michigan, Alaska, Iowa, Maine at minimum, and then win our likelies. So they have recently updated what they think. Ohio, Texas, they're saying Beto, or not Beto. That's my fears that it's Beto all over again. Beto, or that, man, I love Tallarico too. That Tallarico is favored in Texas now, but Beto was favored too, and then he got fucking slaughtered.
He wasn't as favored as
I
people
agree
wanted him
that
to
he
be made
wasn't
out
as
to.
liked
So
as much, but we have the Minnesota Open will probably win, but there's a big push against certain things that make me worried about that. They're currently saying we'll probably win Ossoff seat back. I'm not positive we do that in Georgia. The North Carolina Open is currently red.
the amount of Americans that should feel betrayed, I think we're getting there, because we're not going to see a change in the economy before the midterms, and people are starting to look forward towards, their Christmas shopping, towards their fall break, their spring break, and they don't have the money to go on trips or do things.
No.
So
No, they don't. So there's, just to break it down for the Senate, there's 34 Democratic seats not up. There's 31 Republican seats not up. On the Republican side, there's 14 seats that are going to be Republican still. So that puts them at 45. If we pulled any one of those, that'd be wild. But it's like Florida, Alabama, Arkansas, Idaho, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Montana, Oklahoma, South Carolina. We're not winning these seats. So that's 45. And then their likelies are the Kansas and the New England, which I don't think we win those seats either. So that puts them at 47. So we would need to take the toss-ups, 4 of the toss-ups, and they could have 49 and then win the likelies. And so 4 of those toss-ups, Alaska, Iowa, Maine, Michigan, Ohio, Texas. And the fact that Texas is a toss-up is
saying something.
It's saying something, right? It's saying something large. If they lose Texas, they're done forever. So if Texas turns blue, they would have to turn California red, because we have New York, Illinois, Texas, and California. Well, you can't win the electrical college. You can't win the EC. True, right. True. That's where I'm going, right? Yeah. Back to a general. You can't win the EC if we're going to take Texas too. So, but our lean Democrats, what I'm worried about, I think we can pull 4 of those toss-ups, but I worry about the Ossoff seat in the North Carolina seat. And I was more confident in the main seat before we found out he was a douche monkey and had to drop out. So that's a Kamala Harris situation where we threw somebody in at the last minute, right? And wasn't primaried. So that concerns me, but they do hate fucking Collins there. So they didn't used to, but they do. So yeah, midterms look, definitely we're taking the House. And I think we're going to take the House by a very large swath.
We'll see a lot of, at least, investigations. There will be a lot more information that will come out of the House for the
To sum it up, I think we end up the only way we end up taking the Senate is currently there is a swath of Republicans that refuse to vote. They're not voting. They don't believe it. They don't agree with this. They're not, but they'll never vote for a Democrat.
right.
So they're going to either throw off to a write-in or they're not going to go to the polls. This is very reminiscent of the far left when they get butthurt about a progressive candidate getting chopped.
Shafted.
So,
yeah.
right. If that happens, we probably do win the Senate because we do win possibly all 6 toss-ups. Right now, it looks like it's 15-20%. If 15% of your voter base doesn't show up, you're done. Because
Yeah.
the MAGA base,
And yeah, I mean they got a lot of their votes on frustration alone, and rhetoric, and the rhetoric is just not on his side this
no, it's
time.
been, well, because
So-
it's all been proven to not be true.
Well,
Somebody might have
it's
told you
always
that.
been proven to not be true.
Somebody might have told you that, but they were a libtard. So you didn't listen to them. It's fine
Yeah.
though. Welcome to the party. Glad to have you. You don't have to vote for a Democrat. I'm not even going to ask you to
Right.
do that. Stay home.
Yep.
That's good enough
Stay
for
home.
me.
Yep.
That's good enough for me
Do
because
your civic duty and go to work.
yeah, go to work that day and stay home and do not go to that poll and let us neuter him.
Right?
And then
at
you
least
and then
at
you can
least
go
let us
primary. You can go primary for
Yep.
somebody you want.
Yep.
And you can vote again in 28. That's
yep.
fine.
Yeah, and we'll see you in
So-
28.
And then we can have a real race.
Right. Yeah, hopefully we get to have a real race. All right, so we have kind of tried to make sure that we're being fair at least sometimes to an administration that does do a few good things here and there. So this is one that isn't being widely talked about because it's just not as popular. This is a 2A issue where felons have dealt with the states to get their records expunged, and the federal government just hasn't fought the states on putting those rights back in place for those people that have sought that out. So this would be a shift in that, where Trump signed an EO saying that there should be a path, and giving the DOJ the ability to create the path through justice.gov/FFRR, and it should be rolled out in the next 4 months or so. So $30 fee, electronic fingerprints, and character references. So a lot of this is going to be automated. So there will likely be some glitches there.
That's all, folks.
This is something that, we support. If you've served your time, then you should be granted all of your rights back. You never actually serve all of your time if you don't get all of your rights as an American citizen back at the end of your term. So there are stipulations. Here are some things that you can look at as far as those who may qualify and those that are presumed to be ineligible.
Active drug addicts, excluding marijuana. Okay, that's fair. I don't want a fucking Penn State cokehead to fucking have weapons. So I agree with it, right? I do understand what they're saying, and I do agree with it. We're for common sense regulations, but we're very pro 2A people. I own weapons, you own weapons. People keep thinking liberals don't own weapons. You're wrong.
You're
So
wrong.
I own them and I know how to use them.
Don't find out.
Yeah, no, and I know how to use them. So, and I also am not super poor. So they're kind of bougie.
Yeah.
They work real well.
I have bullets for them.
Yeah, I have those. Actually, racks on racks of them, just in case AI comes. So, but no, it's I think it's good, but I also believe personal reasons. If you have been good for a long time, go get your record expunged. There may be a possibility where in some states that's not possible, right? I don't know the law in every state, right? And that's the case. So maybe there are states where that's not possible. And in that case, I really do support this, right? And the other, your state, it is possible. Then go spend your money. Go get it expunged or don't spend your money. Figure out how to do it yourself and go to the law library, depending on the state, right? You may
Yeah.
go to your clerk of the courts
Well,
and
even
file your
even this
paperwork.
said there's like a $30 fee or something like that.
Well, of course they're going to
So
charge you for it. It's the government, dude. So, but $30 to own a weapon, that's fine. Because if you think $30 is a lot, you don't want to own weapons. So, because they're not cheap, you can get 10 bullets for $30. It's super cool about this is I don't have to try.
yeah.
But there's actually
So
a couple of our friends that popped my head that did not get expungement, should have, and they are nonviolent crimes, and they got denied where this could work. So that's kind of cool. I hope they
yeah.
apply and get it done.
Yep. Yeah. So here's some information on how to apply. Yeah, $30 fee. Portal opens to the first 5,000 applicants on day 75, and then day 120 they're looking at 500 applicants a cycle, which I don't understand how long a cycle is, but whatever.
Fair enough. I don't think they understand how long a cycle is either.
So, all right. So the last one I have is most of America has been tuning into that I really don't care about, but I do think that the subject should be broached. Lindsay Clancy, 36. She was a neonatal nurse, and she has been charged in the murder of her 3 kids.
5, 3, and 8
She is
months.
Yep. Her defense is that she was dealing with postpartum psychosis. They are not fighting that she did it, but they are going for the insanity plea.
Okay.
There was a lot of evidence that went both ways. I don't get into it, but I know a lot of people that, love the true crime stuff. They like that stuff.
Well, this is
But
super
what
popular for sure.
Yeah. But for me, this is a chance to highlight something that really is underdiagnosed, undersupported, and does affect a lot of people. And so 20% of women with bipolar disorder develop postpartum psychosis. So that's a fairly large number. Bipolar runs on the mother's side, if you didn't know that.
I did.
And
I did.
so there's actually a 43 to 55% recurrence rate, and 1 to 2 births out of every 1,000 have this postpartum psychosis. So, I mean, it's a big deal.
No, it
And
is. It really is. And I do know one person who has definitely went through it themselves. They weren't super close to me, but close enough to me that, I reached out multiple times. So
yeah, here are some of the warning signs. And then I wanted to put up some information for people who are around new mothers. I mean, I was just talking with a friend of mine who just had her baby. If you do have new mothers in your life, here are some things that you can do to. I'm real big about, veteran suicide has plagued guys that I know, and I've buried way too many of my brothers, and I couldn't imagine, having to bury my baby or the mother of my child. So, just pay attention to new mothers, make sure that you're supporting them and giving them the help that they need and deserve. So,
no, it's super important,
psycho
right? It really is. It's super important. And it's that see something, say something.
Yep,
Right? If you see something,
absolutely.
say something. Don't assume that they're
Yeah,
gonna be
never assume
okay.
that they're okay.
Yep.
Also, this goes for, kids that are having problems at school. This is for mothers, veterans,
People getting bullied.
middle-aged white men that are divorced,
Oh,
not
fuck
me,
you up.
not me, not me. But
I'll
but
chase
like
your ass to hell.
don't just ask them how they're doing, and if they say good, leave it at that.
Right.
Like, get in there, ask them what their thoughts are about things.
If you're unqualified, get somebody who is. If you're unqualified and you're worried,
Right.
then that should say something very loudly to you, and you should seek medical help. You really go back and look at that slide. And if you're seeing those things, validate their feelings and seek medical help and bring in the
Yeah.
rest of their support.
Widen the discussion, make it about more than just you and them,
Mhm.
and work towards you know, a a resolution that
Help.
increases everybody's sense of community.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if somebody is a danger to themselves,
For danger to
uh,
themselves or others, you have to alert the authorities.
yeah,
You have
do
to.
do not make me call in a wellness check on you. A 72-hour hold to save somebody's life and possibly ruin your friendship with them
It's worth
is
it.
more than worth it.
I'll take that.
So,
Take
yep,
that out. So no, good
but
week. Very exciting. So great way to end, right? So you guys understand we don't just rail against Trump. We actually give a fuck about humanity. And that's why we don't like him so much. So it's not political to us. National Mental Health Hotline, the Suicide Cross. You can just text 988. That's really cool. That's really good stuff, man. Old Thursday special, August 2026. So but we'll be back next week and I'll just be fresh back from Miami. So a lot of lightning happening in Miami or in Florida recently. So I hate traveling this time of year. So
well, thanks a lot, you guys. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share with your friends, do all
bye.
those buttons and stuff.
Yeah, and so if
And
these reels and get more views, you guys were right, and thanks for the feedback. We appreciate it. So
appreciate you.
until next
All
week,
right.
Bluebird, your shoulder.